Well, I started out my career here in DeKalb. I started as a third-year law student working in the solicitor's office, and I became an assistant solicitor after I got my bar results, and then an assistant district attorney. And I worked in the DA's office for about 6 years, and I had a good friend who ran for office, who ran for judge, and I worked a lot on her campaign. It kind of gave me the idea to potentially run for office. And then 2 years after she was elected, the judge that held this position, he retired, and so it was an open seat. So that's kind of how I decided to run for office. I also had an experience with one of the judges I was assigned to in the DA's office. He was hearing a motion to suppress and made a ruling that I didn't necessarily agree with, and he made a comment to me. I guess he noticed my expression when he made his ruling, and he said to me, "Well, Ms. Johnson, if you don't like the way that I rule, maybe you should become the judge." And so I decided he had a good idea, so I ran for judge. Best part of my job, hands down, is adoptions. I love doing adoptions. It's always a really happy day, and it never fails. They always sort of come on the days when I have kind of tough cases going on, and so it's a really nice familial thing and a nice happy thing to do before having to come out into the courtroom and deal with some of the less pleasant parts of the job. I am just finishing up my tenure as Chief Judge here in DeKalb County, and being on the Administrative Office of the Courts, Judicial Council. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure was that our district had a voice on the council and that we were adequately represented. We've made some changes in our case management system here in DeKalb County over the last several years, in accordance with some of the e-filing requirements that the state has been considering. And so there were some things that we wanted to make sure that were included in the e-file order that directly impacted the attorneys and the litigants here in DeKalb County. And so I think along with my colleague Tangela Berry, who is on that committee, we were able to make sure that our district was adequately represented. I'm actually, I was a really voracious reader when I was in school and don't really have a whole lot of time to read now, but I just finished up John Grisham book, Rooster Bar, and I started another book a few weeks ago called Whiskey and Ribbons, and it's, I listened to an interview with the author on NPR and just kind of fell in love with the theme of the book, and so that's what I'm reading now.